is Janie. Welcome back to the Crafting Bookworm. Today I have a review. Okay, welcome back everyone. Welcome to all of my new subscribers. Thank you, you guys. I really appreciate you coming by and hanging out. So today I wanted to do a book review for you, and that book is Deadfall, and that is by Robert Liparulo. I talked a little bit about this in my wrap-up, so if you haven't seen that, make sure you go check that out. Robert Liparulo is a Christian fiction writer, but when he writes his book, there's not a lot of God aspects to the story. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't read Christian fiction because they don't want to read all that. I personally really enjoy them. I love the good versus evil stories, and when the good overcomes the evil, it just gives you this kind of peace when you read them. This book, there really is no peace. Robert Liparulo, like I said, doesn't write many of his books with the God elements, but he does include things like, different things people say, kind of maybe mention the goodness, and that kind of stuff. But other than that, really not a whole lot in it. I read Comes a Horseman by him. That was the first book I ever read by Robert Liparulo. And really remember enjoying the story. I really would like to do a reread because it's been a long time. I think back in 2014 maybe I read it. So I really would like to read that book again. There's also a book called Germ by Robert Liparulo, and that is a bio-warfare kind of story. I want to read that one as well. But in this one, you guys, it's very, very intense. Like I said, not a lot of God elements, but also no swearing whatsoever. No F-bombs, no nothing. And that is always refreshing, because it just seems like every book you read now is F this, F that, da-da-da, da-da-da, and it just, it just starts to wear on you if you're not wanting to read that stuff. There is quite a bit of violence in this book, which is really kind of surprising to me because he is a Christian fiction writer, but maybe he's just trying to really insert that evil that we fight so much of in this world. And I felt a lot of stuff in this book. But let me tell you what the story is about first. We're following, see if I can remember, Hutch, Phil, David, and Terry. Just four guys who just want to get away from life. And they have someone drop them off into this remote region of the wilderness in Canada. And, they're dealing with stuff like divorce, and someone's filing bankruptcy, and someone is super depressed, and another one lost their job and he just doesn't know what he's gonna do. So they figure, what, let's get away, guys, let's go and do this. And they've done it before, that let's go hunting and fishing and just overall relax and just forget about what we're dealing with for a little bit. So that's what they do. They're there, and they're, high on life, and they're doing their thing. And then you got another part in this story where you got this village, or this very small, off the map kind of town. And you've got this group of people who are just going in there and terrorizing it. Just pure evil. And they are not nice, and most of them are kids. And it's just, that was one of the things that bothered me is, you got these kids and they're taking over this town. They're children. Somebody, do something. And I just felt a lot of that frustration. And then so you got this story, and you got the other story. You got two of them. You got the Hutch story and the evil kids thing. And they do come together in the story. And you guys, when they come together, and it just is so intense. And like I said, there's violence in the story, and I was frustrated, but I was also angry. And I'm just waiting for good to prevail. And that's what you're waiting for the entire time you're sitting on the edge of your seat. You know, you're fuming, you're frustrated, angry, aggravated at these kids. They're kids. And I'm just like, come on, what is going on? So, yeah, it takes you for a pretty extreme ride, okay? Very intense, very violent, but no swearing, none of that stuff, which I really appreciated that. That's all I'm going to tell you, because I could just go on and on and on. My sister and I read this together. My sister finished before me, and she told me, I have to step back now and read something light. And it was true. I had to do the same thing because I just couldn't, oh my gosh, it was just so intense. I don't remember Comes a Horseman being that intense, which, you know, I want to read that book again just to see, but I remember that I really enjoyed it. But this one just, wow, you guys, I just couldn't believe that these children were doing the things that they were doing. And everybody just seemed to be powerless. That, or nobody really wanted to, you know, handle things, or I don't know, it was a really good story, don't get me wrong, but be ready, you know, for it to be very intense. And it really makes you appreciate these four guys, you know, who are just trying to find some peace. They just want to find a little bit of peace out of their lives that are just so set in such turmoil. And maybe that is one of the reasons why they made the town portion so intense. So that you can see this peaceful side and just really appreciate these guys and the things that they can do, or what they do, or how they deal when it's just kind of thrown into their lap, when they're just there to relax. They've already got enough turmoil. They didn't really need to have any more. So I do definitely recommend this book. If you want to start a Christian fiction book, Good versus Evil, Robert Liparulo is probably a place to start if you don't want all the God elements in your reading. I personally appreciate the God elements in books, but not everybody does. So in that case, Robert Liparulo would probably be a good place for you to start. But he is really intense. Now, Ted Dekker is also pretty intense, so with his writing as well, but I don't think as violent as what Robert Liparulo writes. It's pretty violent, you guys. So keep that in mind before you jump into it. Very intense story. If you do decide that you're going to read it, let me know your thoughts before and after, because I would really like to maybe have a little chat about it. My sister and I chatted a little bit over the story, but we both have busy lives, so we haven't really gotten to discuss a whole lot about it. But if you do read it, or if you have read it, hit me up and let's have a chat about it, because that's not what I expected at all. I recommend it. Read it. Let me know what you think of it. We'll have a chat over it. But that is all that I have for you guys. Thanks for staying tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.